Well, hello, this is Kings Road Young Lions, and I'm your dungeon master tonight. My name is Saucey, and I'm here with a group of young lions. Say hello, young lions.
Hello,
young lions.
Hello, young lions.
We've got another great episode lined up tonight on this beautiful Thursday night. If you're watching on Twitch, it's Thursday night. If you're watching on YouTube, it's either Sunday or Tuesday or any other day of the week. But either way, we appreciate having you here. Hopefully you've enjoyed the story thus far. We're going to be jumping back into the story of the young lions. Where we last left off, they were on the King's Road trying to obtain 7 badges so that they could challenge for the World Championship. They have 1 badge so far. Then they had to leave town. They really had to work for that 1 badge. They left town in a hurry because it was on fire. They sailed across the ocean blue, and they're headed towards territory number 7 to work on their 2nd badge. So here we are in the port of KRYL. Am I leaving anything out, young lions?
Nope, please excuse me just choking on Mountain Dew and almost dying.
Our ship
at least wait
is messed up.
I need my bodyguard. Don't die yet.
That's right.
We're gonna have to pull into town at this point.
The ship that you're riding on is in terrible condition. It's got holes in the side of it, which were boarded up due to some resourcefulness on Bronson's part. In addition to that, there was some damage to the interior quarters of the captain's quarters. You're missing one of the sails. One of the masts were snapped off. You ran into a kraken, and it was angry, and it took it out on your ship. I think it was misdirected anger, if we're being honest, but it went pretty hard at you. But you were victorious. You managed to beat it almost to death before it squirted you all in the face with ink and then hightailed it out of there. You were able to coast the rest of the way with half a ship, basically, and sail into this beautiful town of KRYL, which, there it is. And you can see the little boat on the left there that has a little gray and gold flag on the top. We'll get into what that is in just a minute. So let me introduce everybody to the town of KRYL. The locals call it the Holler. The aging dock area stirs to life as fishing boats bob gently on the bay next to passenger ships with challengers who are here for the same reason that you are. As you pull into the port, this is a place that Solomon has been before. It's familiar. It looks just like you remember it. The main road that goes from the port into town is called Holler Road, thus the name the Holler. It winds its way through the heart of town, leading travelers past markets where vendors are displaying their wares: furs, moonshine, coal, precious metals, all sorts of lovely local goods. At the very center of town is a perfect obelisk, a 4-sided statue, weathered by time and bearing the name of the 4 founders of the kingdom. That center of town is also known as the 5 Points, which is home to 5 very unique establishments, 5 important establishments. They are well known because they're amazing. I'm not going to sell them short here. The first is one you're familiar with, the Velvet Rabbit. So a franchise, a chain of brothels is probably the best word to use for them. And this is just as opulent as the other. It is a familiar warren for men and for lions alike. Next to the Velvet Rabbit is another brothel, a competing brothel in the town known as the Moon Door. It boasts its own form of enchantment. It's rougher than the Velvet Rabbit, it's raunchier, and it's enticing to those who are seeking a different kind of solace. The town tavern, known as the Botch Goblin, stands at one of the 5 Points. It's a lively place with a large dance floor, music, tankards of ale always flowing, and many coal miners in attendance. Just across the street from there is the Gnome Depot. That's a name that's gained some notoriety in the past week here. A magic general store, a purveyor of magical items and general items alike. And finally, the town temple, known as the Lady of the Mountain, standing over all other buildings as a serene sanctuary, offering solace to seekers of spiritual enlightenment of all benevolent faiths. So here you are. You pull into the harbor, and you notice this boat on the left, which has a familiar flag. Bronson, this is a flag that you recognize. Can you share with the group what that flag represents?
Yeah.
That is the Celtigar sigil. That is our house coat of arms.
Okay, so Bronson of House Celtigar was what is your standing in the House Celtigar at this point?
So I don't have access to any of our resources. I can't act on behalf of the house. I still bear the name and still have the ability to legally wear the sigil, but I don't have any authority whatsoever when it comes to house business at all.
And further evidence of this is the dead body that was vomited onto your ship when the Kraken swallowed Zinthral, and then I don't remember which one of you beat him up, but made the Kraken regurgitate its entire stomach contents onto the ship, including a dead body, which also had the house symbol of Celtigar.
Yeah,
However,
signet ring.
That's right. It was wearing a signet ring. However, it was at this point partially dissolved and was not something that it was not a person that Bronson could identify just based on an investigation. So the other ship that's in the harbor, which I don't have a name for the ship, doesn't really matter. It has just as much damage as your ship, which you can connect those dots as far as to why it would be damaged as such. So you pull into the harbor. Bronson, that's what you see. And Solomon, you are excited by the prospect of returning back to a familiar place that is not very well under the watchful eye of the capital. Ceris, you are interested in the temple that's in the town, as well as getting to the bottom of why everybody in the town looks so ill. And Bird, you are hallucinating. This is something that's picked up in frequency since you started wearing this wrestling mask. You could have sworn you saw a red devil woman standing on the docks, and as the boat pulled up closer, something passed in front of her and she just vanished. So you're not sure if your eyes are playing tricks on you or what to believe at all. And Gator, you're just happy that you have successfully navigated a vessel through a typhoon from one place to another without people fully understanding just how little you know about sailing.
All that needs to be remembered is that we made it.
That's right.
We made it further than the Titanic.
What's this Titanic you're talking about, Gator?
Just wait. I'm telling you. It's going to be huge.
Have you been drinking?
I mean, that's pretty much the definition of Titanic.
What does definition mean?
Oh, come on, Gator.
Moving on.
So you pull into the port here. You tie up onto the dock as best as you can. Solomon's not super crazy about tying knots. You just let somebody else take care of it. But they do have people working the docks that do help you. It's kind of like the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean where the ship pulls in and it's sinking as it's approaching the dock. If anybody wants the ship, they can have it, right? So there you are at the dock. The ship is not sinking. It is stable at this point, but it needs many repairs before it would be seaworthy again. So at this point, what would you like to do?
First thing, I'd like to speak with the dockmaster around here, and I know it's basically scrap, but perhaps we could get something for it?
Oh, he'd like to sell the ship.
Yeah, if it's possible.
Okay.
Price of lumber.
Well, let's do an investigation check.
I'm gonna let anybody else handle it.
I'm all over it. All right. We got, an 18 total.
18. Okay. So, yes, you're able to pick out somebody in the crowd who looks like they could be in charge, for lack of a better words.
Oh, excuse me, my fine authority figure. Could perhaps I could interest you in a fairly decent and scrappable bargain on what was once a fine sea vessel.
So he looks over you, which isn't very difficult because you're about 2.5 feet tall.
I'm tall. I'm about 3 feet in my little heels.
Yeah. I mean, he's only about 5 feet, so he's not that much larger, but he's not doing so in a disrespectful way. But he does look at the ship, looks at you, looks at the ship again. He says, "What do you want for it?"
Could I get an appraisal of the ship? Like that other mast is still good. They could put that on a ship, and you could scrap this thing down. How much do I feel like is a reasonable number?
I've been like weaseling my way close with my clipboard in hand, seeing that there's a deal going on. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay, so for an appraisal check, let's see what. Any ideas what we normally roll for appraisal?
Intelligence, I'd say, unless like if you were gonna appraise it for yourself, but then if you were to like relay it, you might want to bluff it. But I'd say intelligence.
Let's do a history check.
Sure.
Yeah, so apparently it's handled by what the nature of the object is.
Natural 20.
Oh, sure.
23 total.
Okay, so you can determine that in good condition, it's worth a lot. Let me look up. I didn't anticipate you actually selling the ship. Okay, so he does a thorough appraisal of the ship. You know, there's still pieces falling off of it. He takes a look at the rear of the ship where there's usually a name. The rear of the ship has been totally bashed out. And he asks you, would it be okay if I board the vessel to inspect it?
No.
I mean, there's not much left inside, really. I mean, what's left of our crew after the attack, because that's another thing. The previous owner is now cracking food. So, as you can tell, we're salvaging the last of our equipment and stuff, but anything else that comes with the ship, I feel like that's salvageable should be included in the cost. Let's get down to how much before we go on board. I got message cantrip, 120 feet. I shoot back to Bronson, like, pack up anything that's worth anything. Strip this thing clean as fast as you can.
Gotcha. Okay, I've got it here. Sailing ship. So based on past history, that a brand new sailing ship in great condition could go for as much as 10,000 gold pieces. This is a heap that is falling apart. And is most likely stolen. He says, I will give you 500 gold for it.
We're getting the gray market rate.
I don't know what that means, but I hold
Without
up my
any
clipboard
further
and I say,
question-
wait a minute. That ship is made of fine wood, regardless of what state it's in. And I start slapping my clipboard.
Well, so 500 gold would probably at least book us all passage pretty much anywhere on to the next place, right? I mean, at that point,
Sure.
we would be not alone, not having to man a ship or anything like that. This was a means to an end.
Yeah.
I really don't think that that's a problem.
I need a whistle like Bill Alfonso.
Now, this here was our quartermaster. He, of course, knows the value of the ship better than anybody, and I get given its condition, and I know you may have doubts about its origins, but, do we look like pirates to you? No, I was the bookkeeper. This is the quartermaster. The upper officers were unfortunately lost in the attack that obviously damaged this thing. We have the writ and permissions. If you need to see them, I could run inside and fetch them very quickly.
So I would like you to give me a persuasion check. And if Gator is assisting,
I
roll
got
with
magic
advantage.
underwear. I'm at advantage.
Oh, there you go.
Let's let him handle it by himself. I forgot about the underwear.
All right. Well, my dice started off super hot, but I got a 14. Yeah, 14.
14. Okay. So he does acquiesce a little bit here, and he says, okay, here's the deal. 1,000 gold pieces, and I won't tell anybody where the ship came from. Deal or no deal?
That is the deal of the day. No questions asked. Good day to you, sir.
One final
can
question. The ship's manifest, do you have it?
Eaten
In
by the
fact,
Kraken.
the captain's quarters was completely invaded by tentacle kraken. There's still slime in there. Like, literally, when you get in there, you're going to realize that story is not bullshit. Who knows what's left in there? I'm sure all the documents, the whole desk in there is gone now. Like,
What
I
isn't
don't-
destroyed is covered in ink.
Yeah, it's like dark seeping ink over all the papers. There is nothing. This is This is the husk of a ghost ship.
You're
Sir.
trying to talk me out of the sale now, I see.
Oh no, not at all.
Can you show me to the captain's quarters and let's see if we can find it together?
Absolutely. Bronson, you get everything? You got everything? Bronson.
Yeah, I've been just hauling stuff off of the ship, just like it's my job. Making nice, neat stack on the deck.
Okay, so you've unloaded. What would you have unloaded?
Anything salvageable from the galley, anything that looked like it was not destroyed out of the captain's quarters, and then probably even starting to try and haul the cannons off board.
Well, you have 3 cannons and 1 ballista. There are some crates with food provisions, water, some ale. There,
See what we can get for them. We'll sell them wholesale.
there's 1 crate of cannonballs with gunpowder.
Take the gunpowder.
I'm taking the fruit with me.
So he tells you, leave the cannonballs and the gunpowder. You take the rest.
Hey, tell you what, we'll leave the cannons and the balls, but we keep the gunpowder.
No.
I'm curious what
How about we
use
just
the
take a
cannonballs
little
and
bit of the
gunpowder are
gunpowder?
with the cannon.
Wait,
We just
what?
need a small bag of gunpowder.
Okay, fine. Take a small bag.
All I'm thinking is enough for Zinth to be able to use his flintlock for more than one time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if I can slide a hand and get myself a healthy portion.
Okay. Go ahead.
As you're bagging it up for him.
Yeah. Hoping. I have this great little bag that's great for powders and stuff, and then I pull out like a sack behind my back.
Yeah, that's fine. So you gather enough for a sack and a half of gunpowder. You take some of the perishables off of the boat. They're sitting on the dock. The cannons are not something that you can just unload by hand. It's not
Right.
You know,
you'd have to winch them. Yeah.
This is bigger than a piano or a refrigerator. It's like a large item. If
The
you had
lion is not for sale, by the way.
a tentacle monster would be big enough to remove it, but you're fresh out of those.
Since I was dubbed quartermaster, I'm on the dock with my clipboard pretending to inventory.
Perfect. Okay, so
I was like, you could really do the inventory, right?
No, but I'm better at pretending to do it than actually doing it.
So as the shipmaster sets you a fond farewell, he does have one final question. What was the name of the ship?
The Penny Hardaway.
The sea lion.
Final answer?
Sea Lion.
We should probably make up a name, guys.
Yeah, it was gonna be the sea lion.
It was the
One
sea
that can't
lion.
be traced back to us.
Are we thinking this guy has Twitter though?
Okay.
And say, like I said, all the paperwork is gone. The back of the ship is completely wrecked. It was fondly known as the Sea Lion by the beloved crew.
Very well. Enjoy your time in Colville. So he goes into the captain's quarters and he starts, you hear some things crashing around and you hear him go, ah, God, oh.
I just dropped the keys on the dock.
The captain was in there when that happened. It was terrible. Have a good day.
All right, so Solomon, you have effectively negotiated a sale for scrap. Gator, you assisted. Bronson, what would you like to do?
Well, if we're sort of about to go about our business, then I definitely need to make my way over to the Celtigar boat.
Okay, as you're approaching, you are interrupted by this guy.
Hey, yo.
I hope not.
So this is someone he looks familiar, but you can't put your finger on exactly who it is. And he makes eye contact with you, and he stops, and he's squinting, and he's sizing you up as well. This is a giant individual. Bronson is how tall? 7 feet?
Yeah.
This guy's easily 6'10", right? This is probably the biggest human you've ever seen. And there's only one person from your early life that you knew to be of that size. And it's somebody of the House Celtigar, a distant cousin of yours, a second or a third cousin, by the name of Big Varro. And
Laura?
yeah, he's squinting at you and he goes, Lil Bron? Is that you?
Hey. I never thought in a million years I would see you out here.
I never thought I'd see you again. What are you? What are you up to, bud?
I'm making my way through the tournament. I managed to get in, got a chance to register and got our first badge, and now we're here trying to complete the whole set.
Wow, look at you. That's impressive. You know, I made a run at it a couple years ago. Didn't work out. Took an arrow to the knee at some point and kind of ruined the whole fight game for me. But you know, here I am out here living the dream on boats and hoes and all that nonsense. But hey, man, it's good seeing you. What are you up to now? Are you in town for long?
Unknown at this point. Our boat was savagely attacked by a kraken on the way here, and
So
I don't think that we're gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be seaworthy anytime soon.
So he's looking at your boat, and he points at it. He goes, you know, that pile of wood over there. That's your boat.
Yeah, it was more impressive before it lost a mast and limped into harbor. But yeah, that was our boat.
Let me guess. Sea monster.
Close. Sea lion.
Sea lion.
It's kind of a whole gimmick.
Oh, no. I was talking about what happened to the boat.
Oh, yeah, the kraken. Yeah, not a good time.
Yeah. So
cracked
word
its
is
skull open before we left.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be bothering many other boats for a while.
Well, that is great news because lots of folks here have been attacked by the sea monster recently. So,
yeah, I kind of look around the harbor and see that, you know, a lot of boats are a little bit worse for the wear.
There are a lot of boats that have some damage, and Varo says, as a matter of fact, our boat was attacked as well. And
I kind of thought so, because the kraken actually, when we were trying to execute it, brought up some of its previous victims, and I saw that one of them was House Celtigar, and so I knew that the first thing that I needed to do when I saw that the flag flying in the harbor was come over and try and return this stuff. And so I hold out the signet ring and the pouch.
So he looks at it and he knows exactly what that means. Were you able to recover the body?
No, there was just a massive melee and everything. I did my best to give him a burial at sea as best as possible and as respectfully as possible, but we were basically limping, just come out of a storm, got hit by the kraken, and then we're just trying to you know, get our ship as seaworthy as possible to get in here. I don't know who it was, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, when I saw the boat that this stuff got back to his family.
Well,
as is appropriate.
You see his eyes kind of glaze or glass over. They get a little glossy. And he's, you know, he diverts eye contact from me. He says, I know who it was. It was Peppino. I don't think you ever met him, but he's one of the Celtigar boys, one of the younger ones. And he was my best friend. He was a complete jerk, and everybody hated him, but he was my best friend.
At least he didn't die, or, you know, didn't reside in the belly of a beast for very long, and at least we got some vengeance.
But to be honest, he should have been dead a long time ago. He did not make wise life choices. But boy, he was a good time. He was a good time. Fun to have around. This guy, he could get the party going, if you know what I mean. You know, Peppino.
Yeah, I got a couple of folks like that.
One of the boys. Well, hey, I'll take this and I'll make sure it gets back to his family. This means a lot. Thank you for this.
Yeah, I know I can't come back, but how is everything?
Oh,
How is how's Alicine?
oh, not great. No, I haven't seen her in a long time. But are you trying to get back together? Is that a thing?
No, I think that ship has sailed, but maybe one day I can get him in a position to get back home and right all the wrongs.
Well, you know where she's living now, right? Have you seen her at all?
No.
Well, if I had to guess, and this is just between you and me, you go up to the boxing territory. I don't even know the name of the damn town up there, but that's most likely where she is. That's where most of the old heads in House Celtigar are these days. Not really welcome in the capital, but business is pretty good outside of there. So they call that place the Box, right? So head on up there. There's a little hustle that's still going on up there. That's why we're here. We're kind of moving some product. Are you looking to get back in the game? Are you here all by yourself?
I've got a handful of friends that I'm more than happy to introduce if you'd like. They're a rough and tumble bunch, but they are thick as thieves and just valorous to a fault. And so I'll wave the rest of the group over.
I tell you what, if you're going to be in town for a while, why don't we meet up a little bit later at the Botch Goblin?
That sounds good.
And I'll introduce you to the captain. He's going to want to meet you, and I'll get to meet your friends. And the very least we could do is to buy you a drink for returning Peppino's stuff back to us. So is that good?
I may be exiled, but I still bleed gray and gold. So yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Well, shoot,
let's catch up and you can meet the guys, and I'm definitely looking forward to trading stories with your captain.
Well, you know where you are now. I mean, this is the city of exiles, man. This is where people go to disappear. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah. But hey, I got to run. I got to fix our boat. I got to do some things, and then let's meet up at the bar. I'm the tall guy. You're the other tall guy. It shouldn't be too hard to find us.
Yeah. Let me know if you need anything while you're here, okay? And then I reach out my arm to give him a big handshake.
Oh yeah, yeah. So he does the old handshake where he grabs the forearm. Mm-hmm. That thing, and then he heads off on his way, stomping away. At this point, the rest of the crew has kind of been eavesdropping at a safe distance, and some of you are shocked at the size of these two individuals. You thought Bronson might be the only one, but there are two, right?
Turns out I got my size from the mom's side of my family.
And Ceris, how do you feel in this situation? Because the last few weeks have been incredibly overwhelming for you, although you've seen a lot of things working for the Velvet Rabbit, and now you're in a very strange situation. So tell us, how do you feel in this moment?
Well, it's definitely been an adventure so far. Seen a lot of things, did a lot of things, fought a giant kraken. But I'm honestly kind of excited to see what this city holds and who might, be around to potentially help. I don't know. There's a lot of emotions going on right now, but some of it is just pure excitement for being somewhere that's not where I came from.
The rest of the party, although they have been in some very tense moments recently. They have faced death. They've survived. They have they've been successful. They've saw victory, but at the same time, they have all recognized that this is a tough situation for Rosa, and especially Bronson, who wanted, well, I don't know if that's the right word, but was instrumental in seeing the death of your hostage, right? Zinthral being the one to make the finishing blow there, but the two of them have a little bit of guilt about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they see how has affected Rosa, and they have done what they can do in the past week or two while still on the ship, trying to accommodate you and be sensitive to your feelings. So you've noticed that they've tried to be kind and not too intimidating in the process. So the five of you are here on the docks. Zinthral, you're still questioning what is real, but we will get to you. So, Rosa, where would you suggest that the group goes?
Well, I know everybody's probably got their own business in town. I was just thinking of asking where we were all going to meet when we were done, but I didn't know I was suggesting anything. I suppose we could all convene at the Risky Rabbit, considering our partnership with Mistress Wolf.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Since they're sponsoring us, they may have some intel for us here. They may want us to at least check in to let them know that we're still alive, because that was a bit of a hasty escape.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, if we should check in there before we do anything else, just so we have like a checkpoint.
That's a good idea. And if anybody's heard news coming in and out of other territories, probably that place.
Okay, so you can head to the town center where there's a obelisk with a statue that's been added to the top of it. This is a statue of King Jerry at the center, where previously there were 4. King Jerry is the only one that remains. So a little extra.
When did this happen?
It's been a couple years since since there were 2 and was brought down to 1.
And it's been a couple of years since I've been here, so I see that and I'm pissed.
Just beyond that, you see the Risky Rabbit, and the setting is familiar. It is a cookie cutter carbon copy of the same
It's
brothel
a franchise.
that it is. Yes, the Risky Rabbit. Here it is, and it's a very nice establishment, right? This is a high-class pleasure palace that features food, drink, music, entertainment of all sorts, an upscale clientele, and accommodations that are unlike any other. You are greeted by the master of the house, somebody who you've never met before, but reminds you of somebody who you have met before. There he is. And he approaches you and introduces himself. And he says, "Very well met, my friends. My name is Master Duke Diamond. How may we please you today?"
Oh, I'm not sure if you're familiar with me. I'm an associate of Mistress Wolf. My name is Rosa Blackthorn. And I have come here basically to refresh ourselves and also so that I can check in with some of the ladies here to see if they need any sort of treatment or help or anything like that.
So at the mention of the name Rosa, you see his eyes widen a little bit, and he says, "Oh, Rosa, yes. So I've been in contact with Mistress Wolf. She mentioned that you may be coming to see us, to be expecting you. We've made accommodations ready for you and your group, and I'm sure the girls in the back would be excited to see you if you can provide any of your services. Your reputation precedes you. It's a pleasure to have you here. How long will you be staying with us?"
Gentlemen, I kind of ask them.
Yeah, we all look at Solomon.
2,
Pretty
3
much.
days? Longer? I mean, depends on if you guys want to take a break or how long it takes to book passage. I know a lot of the ships around here will look at kind of rough. We might be way late a little bit. It depends.
I don't need more than 2 days to do what I'm doing.
So about 2 to 3 days is the consensus.
I think that's fair.
That makes complete sense. I assume you're in town for the badge?
Yeah.
Well, you are in luck, because this badge is the easiest and the fastest to get. The reasoning for that is because the people around here, they don't particularly like tourists. They don't like them sticking around. They like to be left to their own devices. So we try to catch them on the way in, or else we may never see a dollar, right? The actual gym badge is located at the top of Ghost Mountain. All you have to do is go on right up there. You challenge the gym boss to a slap fight, and then you march back on down. Lickety split. It is no problem at all.
Wow. That's very interesting, and we very much appreciate your hospitality and hope that we don't press too much on you for being here for the 2 to 3 days. But thank you, and please, direct me to where I need to go and where these gentlemen can take a rest.
Great. So he leads you into the back. There is a separate sitting room in the back where the talent is hanging out, and you just quickly walk by, but you get to take a glimpse at the ladies. And I'll show you a picture. I got a great picture. I had a picture.
Snap my fingers in Gator's face. Come on.
I'm going to bed.
There we go.
It's been too long since Gator got to shut down, and he needs a long rest because he's just absolutely drained.
So here are the rabbits, and they are lovely young ladies, right? They are dressed nicely.
Oh, wait a minute.
They don't zoom in too closely. the details are a little scramped. They're like a Monet's, right? You get too close. But outside of that, if you squint your eyes, they're all 10s, right?
Who's into flippers?
By Bacob's blessed book, what is this devilry?
You continue walking. You go past doors that are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And room number 11, the door opens up. There are 4 beds in the room. Plenty of room for 4 of you to stay. And he says, "Gentlemen, these are your accommodations. Please help yourself." And
So, was there an unmarked door Or was there just no door number 6 here?
Well, you did not see a door number 6 as you were walking down the hall.
Oh, man. So, my good fellow, thank you for showing us to these accommodations. It's fantastic. I tip him a gold piece. I notice, I'm curious about numbers. I'm a financier. I noticed we walked past every door but number 6. Could you tell me an interesting story about that?
Okay, roll a persuasion check for me.
Natural 20 with the advantage.
Oh. He says, I tell you what, I have a bottle of fine liquor that I've been looking to share with a friendly face. Something that was brewed on in one of these mountains. We call it mountain wine. Why don't we have a drink, and I'll tell you all about room number 6.
That sounds amazing.
Okay. So in preparation for that, Rosa, we'll get back to you. Zinthral, you're feeling a little out of sorts, right? It's been you haven't felt like yourself for a couple days. How do you feel in this moment?
Probably extremely dazed.
Sure.
So, he'll probably end up wandering, probably end up in the wrong alley. Who knows?
Oh, so you're going to leave the building?
Well, I'm leaving the building.
Okay. Is anybody else leaving the building? Is anybody staying here? I know Rosa is going to stay here. Has some patients to attend to.
Gator needs 8 hours in a dark room, undisturbed. He wants to rest, and he wants all his spells back.
Perfect.
He's far away from home, and he doesn't feel totally safe.
Okay. Bronson, you have a date at the Botch Goblin. So, Zinthral, do you go with Bronson, or do you head off on your own adventure?
Bronson needs some company.
Yeah, I'm headed to the Botch Goblin to meet up with some old compatriots that I caught up with in the harbor.
See, I'm tied between that and trying to find this mountain that he spoke of.
Oh, there's signs that point straight to it.
Oh, you saw the mountain. You can't miss it, right? It's huge. It looms over the city.
Mountain.
I'm trying to see where it was brewed is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to go over there.
Where the
his shine.
Where they make the mountain wine.
Oh, that particular one. Well, okay, so if you want to go with Master Diamond, you can, and you can investigate the brew that he's working on. Okay. Bronson, are you going to hang out with them to find out about room 6, or are you in a hurry?
My intention was to probably bring the whole of the group over to the goblin when we finish up here.
All right, so let's. So Gator, we're going to assume that you're having a short rest here, and you can sleep in the biggest bed. So you can sleep in the bed is designated for Bronson, and you can slide all the beds together and make one super bed, right? Like a bird's nest.
Jump on it.
You could do, you can have a total Home Alone moment while everybody is out. You order room service, leave the money at the door. Get out of here, you filthy animal. Whatever you need to do.
Smooching everyone.
Okay, Rosa. So you're with the ladies of the Risky Rabbit, and they're talking amongst themselves. You have a reputation. They know who you are. You're the healer. And one of the girls approaches you. She tells you, so I've heard that you can help with medical conditions. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so she starts telling you about some symptoms that she's having, something that you're familiar with. It's actually a really easy fit for anybody who's studied medicine for a while. Give me a medicine check to go ahead and treat her.
Okay. Gotta be kidding me. 10 overall.
Okay, so it's pretty simple. Nothing to worry about. Just do this. Drink lots of cranberry juice. It'll be fine. So you help her, you help another girl, and then finally you're approached by a woman who is bearing some bruises, right? And she tells you, she asks you, do you have anything for the pain? I think I may have a broken rib or two.
Oh my goodness. So I have an herbalism kit. I don't know if there's anything for the pain in there. If not, I can go try and gather some. And we'll need to take a look at those ribs, but who did this or what did this?
Well, she's not at liberty to share, right? It's part of the dangers of the job. She's had worse. It'll go away, right? She doesn't want to share with you. Either give me a persuasion or an intimidation, depending on how you want to question her.
I'll try and persuade her.
Okay.
Mostly just, I'm looking for like vague details, just like, was it a client? Was
Sure.
it somebody else? Yeah, all right, let's see. Persuasion, 17 overall.
Okay. So she says, officially, I fell down some steps, but unofficially, those steps were high up on one of the mountains, and is not a place that I'd ever like to, steps that I would never like to climb again, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wow. I'll have to think about that for a little bit. What should I do about treating her?
Do you have any heal spells?
I probably do. Let's see.
Something like that would probably. I mean, these guys, after a long rest, it'll heal pretty much anything, right?
Yeah, let's see. I've got a healing word.
Like a gunshot wound will heal after a long rest.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, a healing word would do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then.
Yeah, that would at least set a rib,
Mm-hmm.
in the least painful way possible.
Yeah, so kind of gently place my hand on the spot and, say the invocation and see if that helps. Give her something out of the herbalism kit for the pain,
Okay.
Nothing too crazy, just,
So
something to help.
So a combination of the healing word and the herbalism kit and some medicine checks, all those things, they help out quite a bit. They put her at ease. They take away some of her pain. They really have helped her out quite a bit. So she genuinely appears appreciative. She's a very pretty girl, right? The makeup is kind of hidden any emotions that she's been holding back. But, she gives you a genuine smile, and she doesn't hug you, right? But she, kind of grabs your hand with both of her hands and, shrugs her shoulders in appreciation.
I'll put, my hand on top of hers and just kind of give her a reassuring kind of slight shake and a nod.
So then she leans in a little closer and she says, if you really want to help,
Okay.
You need to do something about the city's water. It's making everybody sick. And we don't know what to do about it.
All right. I'll definitely look into that. How much is that? That's been affecting everybody, right? I know when we came into the harbor, there were quite a few people that looked pretty ill.
Well, everybody says that they're just heavy drinkers and that it's the shine that's doing it. But I knew girls who don't drink at all, and they've had illnesses, stomach pains and headaches, just, terrible symptoms. It has to be the water. Anybody that's here for longer than a few days starts to have the symptoms. For some of them, it's, comes out one end. For others, it goes at the other. But it's terrible. So we don't drink the water here. If we do, we boil it first. But everybody else, they say that they're used to it and that it's not a big deal, but it seems to be getting worse.
Where does everybody get their water from? Is
it the well? There's a well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Didn't know if it was a well or a river or something like that.
Yeah, there's a well.
Okay. And where is this well by chance?
The well is on the outside of town, just outside of the railroad station. So if you're headed that way, you can't miss it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you telling me, and I'll talk with the gentleman I'm traveling with here and see what we can do about it.
She says, everybody around here calls me Thumper, but you can call me Mary.
Mary? Thank you, Mary.
No, thank you, Rosa. And then she shuffles off to freshen up her look and possibly receive a new customer.
All right.
On the other side of the room, a Mr. Duke Diamond is pulling a jar off of the top shelf at one of the bars. It's an unlabeled jar, as most of these moonshine jars are unlabeled. The liquid itself it's clear, but it's got a tint to it, like a caramel tint to it. So he pulls it off the shelf. He, with one hand on the lid, one hand on the bottom, he shakes it. There are, he watches the bubbles rise to the top, and he just smiles bigly at you, and he says, "Are you boys ready for this?" Boys, are there boys? Are you still with me?
Don't answer all at once, everybody.
So he takes the jar down, he unscrews the cap, and he smells it, and then he takes takes a tug from the jar, eyes closed, and then he hands it, Solomon. He hands it to you first. In your hand, it's much bigger, right? So
absolutely,
two hands would probably do the trick.
Around and take a good little swig myself. Been a while.
So it's surprisingly smooth, right? Very alcoholic, surprisingly smooth. There's a flavor in there that you can't put your finger on. You can't quite get what it is, but it is unique and surprisingly pleasant. Also with you, Zinthral, who is kind of geeking out right now. He's been unwell. Maybe this will set him straight.
All right, he takes a big just gulp out of it.
Okay. So he takes a big gulp, and Duke Diamond is looking at you like, "What are you doing?" Like, he doesn't say anything, but he's just like, not insulted, but like no, don't, like, too much. Don't take it all.
Not all at once. Not all at once.
So he puts up his hand like slow down.
I take an extra gulp.
So then he reaches for the jar. He goes, okay, next, pass it. Bronson. So Duke Diamond hands you the jar as well.
Yeah, I'll take a small draft off of it.
There you go. So same thing. Very pleasant flavor, smooth, and a hint of a flavor which you can't put your finger on. But it's not bad. Like, you could definitely lay down and drink a whole jar of this on your own. Very good stuff. Duke Diamond takes it back. He smells it one more time. He takes one more swig and then screws the lid back on and puts it back on that top shelf. He says, "That, boys, that's one of the finest vintages here, but you get a different flavor depending on which mountain it's brewed on. At night, you can look at the mountains and it looks like stars in the sky, the stills burning on each one of the mountains. But just depending on where it comes from and who lives up there, it's got its own unique flavor. This one is my favorite, and the man who made it is no longer with us." So that was for him.
Yeah. Cheers.
Salute.
For the homie.
Zinthral tries to pour it out.
So,
you read my mind.
Thank you for that story. Or thank you for listening to my story, I should say. Now, you were asking about room number 6. So let me tell you a little story about room number 6, since we bonded here, right? And any friend of Mistress Wolf is a friend of Master Diamond. So room number 6. You know what they say: if you go in room number 6, you can never leave. Well, that's because all of the rooms are all connected to each other. There's a risky rabbit in every gym town. There's a room number 6 in every risky rabbit.
You have got to be pulling our legs here.
I would never.
You just shout, "I knew it!"
You were saying that. You said that when we walked into the first one, and they were like, "People never come out of room 6. We don't talk about room 6. That started this whole mystery. You threw that out there on a whim. I said, "There's no way they had the resources for that." What?
So, you guys want to see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. How much trouble are you gonna get into if we...
None at all. Mistress Wolf is our patron, helping us to achieve all of our badges. We wasted time getting attacked by a kraken, taking a multiple-week journey across the sea to get here. Mistress Wolf wants us to do this.
As long as we're cool, and I don't want to be ruffling anybody's feathers, especially someone as powerful and well connected as the mistress. She's, I don't want to be how would we say, abusing her hospitality.
I was about to say, generosity.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to just assume that we've got carte blanche, so definitely want to leverage it if we can, but I'm not in favor of making her as an enemy.
Absolutely not.
So, Rosa, are you staying with the rabbits as the rest of the group is doing this off to the side?
Well, that was what I was about to ask, is if this was happening while I'm, in the process of helping these ladies, or if it's after.
It is. Is anybody going to grab Rosa, or are you just going to investigate on her behalf?
How
Would you
drunk
like
are we?
some
Right
shine?
How drunk are you? No, you're not drunk. You have your stomach is warm. It's a nice, pleasant feeling, right? Zinthral, you feel amazing, right?
Oh, I bet.
This is the best you felt in weeks.
It's going to crash down hard. Oh my.
All the things that you've been thinking about, the things that you've seen in your dreams, the thoughts that you've had, the questioning that you've done, you've kind of forgotten about it for the moment, and it really has taken a weight off of your shoulders.
Oh no.
And
This is like the land of the lotus eaters type stuff.
in this moment of clarity, can I just, finally take a breather and just take off the mask for once?
Yeah, sure.
Have we ever seen Zint's face?
Probably once.
Because he had his other lucha mask on, huh?
He did a quick swapperoo with those masks, so it's possible that you may have caught a glimpse of him.
In my head canon, we've never seen his face because he adheres to lucha values extremely well.
He probably showers with it on.
Yeah, I do. It's 100% I do.
The old mask smelled pretty bad. This one smells fine. This one doesn't get moldy, so it's got some type of property to it. What is it? The armor of cleanliness, but it's the mask of cleanliness.
Nice.
That's amazing.
So if you would like to take off the mask in the room full of people, we could do that.
Oh, not right here. Just when in a more private area, maybe when I start like walking up to the mountains, they don't recognize me, if they could anyway.
Okay. Well, let me know when you're prepared to do that, and we will role play it.
Okay.
So since we're having to leave room 11 and head towards room 6, I will definitely try to grab Rosa and say, hey, we're going to go check this out. Come with us.
Well, you're in the common room right now with the girls and with Duke.
Ah, okay.
So you're outside room 11. Gator is sleeping in room 11. He's snoring like a freight train, sleeping hard. He's got all the spell slots you could ever want back. He's like growling and like running in his sleep.
Wait, did someone say run? That's the first time I've been able to use that sound. But yeah, I would say we need to bring Rosa with us for this.
So the four of you follow Master Diamond back down a hallway which you hadn't gone to before. Has one door at the end of the hallway and has a number 6 on it. You didn't see this before, but there it is. And he turns around, and it's like the scene for Willy Wonka where he's at the tiny door at the end of the hallway, and he's like, are you ready for this? Are you ready to see what's behind the door of room number 6?
Yep.
Yes. And so he turns a knob, and he pushes the door open and lets the door swing open before he steps into the room. And over his shoulder, you can kind of make out what's in the room, and there's nothing significant to be seen in the room. As you kind of peek over his shoulder, it just looks like a standard room. In fact, it is not dressed, it's not decorated in a way that the other rooms are decorated. There's no velvet, there's no lace anywhere. It's a standard room. It's a bed on a frame with a nightstand and a chair and a little side table, and there are no closets. That is it. It's just a standard bare room. And he goes, there it is, boys. That's room number 6. And lady, of course. room number 6. So I can't tell you the secret on how it works just yet. But if you come back to the rabbit with your badge, I'll show you how to use it. And then you can go anywhere you damn well please.
You have got yourself a deal, right, boys? So yeah, we're gonna get this badge. Easy peasy. We can do that.
All right, well, it's a deal. So he closes the door behind him, and he says, okay, come along now. Money to make here.
Yes, sir.
Of course. And if this, of course, does happen to be true, that means you have access to a pretty intricate and fast information network, if that's not the case. You got any news out of Lucha Town recently?
Well, yeah, as I said, I did in fact speak with Mistress Wolf, and she told me about the bonfire in Lucha Town. She knows that it wasn't your fault, so you're in the clear. However, everybody else is not so convinced.
Oh. Say what now? I mean, I was immediately confused to say when Mistress Wolf said it wasn't our fault. Of course it wasn't our fault. We were looking for passage on a ship, and then we were attacked.
The rumor going around the town is that a group of fighters wearing lions' heads and lion furs set the docks on fire in order to steal the Hardways pirate ship and prevent anybody else from traveling to another town. And so you come into the harbor with a ship, which we can only assume is said ship, and that's none of my business, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but here you are, as she promised, and we are very happy to accommodate you. Let's say that we have some common interest at hand.
Yeah, of course, but so it would be fair to say, like, the capital's god and most figures of authority in a majority of the major territories, capital cities, will essentially be considering us fugitives?
Well, this is just between you and I. You cannot trust the city guard. You cannot trust the capital. You can't trust anybody associated with them. That's why I moved out here to Colville, because this is as far away as you can get from the capital.
Yeah, but we're doing the whole Kings Road thing, so that limits our options on staying here in Colville, you know?
Not necessarily.
Well, you are a braver man than I am, which is why you're on the Kings Road and not me. Duke loves the ladies, right? And this is a life that I'm happy to live. But
with access to room 6, we don't have to stay in those other towns. We can get in, handle business, and as long as we're within reach of a risky rabbit, we can make Colville our base of operations, simply because we can go outside, trade, ship, do whatever we need to do without anybody necessarily judging us like they would in any other city. So I don't think that is necessarily a world-breaking situation to be in.
Well, if I may interrupt for a second here, boys, and lady, of course. Folks around here don't really like tourists very much. If you start to outlive your stay here in town, you may start to catch a little flack, especially from the mountain boys, who they tend to come to town once in a while and rough up folks. If they see new faces around town, it's probably not going to be great for you guys. So if you're going to be sticking around, you definitely want to lay low.
We've been pretty good about making allies where we've gone so far. Perhaps we can find a way to endear ourselves to the local population as well.
Maybe you're right.
We already took care of a sea monster. So,
Just-
I mean, you know.
Just
You
promise
say these
me.
mountain boys are roughing people up?
Well, they come down to the town whenever they need supplies to brew a new batch of their mountain wine. And, of course, they don't pay. They take what they want. And it's just easier for us to just let them have it and send them up their way. The city guard doesn't do anything about it. The warden doesn't do anything about it. They're both soft. So when they
SAWFT, soft.
That's right. So when they come to town, we just stay out of their way. We batten down the hatches. Of course, they don't come inside the Risky Rabbit. We don't have anything here that's useful to them.
Yeah.
But
Which means they're just robbing from the local populace of beleaguered miners.
they're taking from the merchants. They're taking from the general store. They take from whoever has the right supplies.
These are the same folks that end up brewing most of the mountain wine.
No. Just their own.
Just
brew.
brigands.
Just their own brew. Most folk are perfectly happy to just distill their own shine on their own mountain and keep to themselves. But this crew is notorious.
Well, there's our inn.
Would you say that the people of Colville, your average Joe, would be thankful if these kinds of ruffians weren't a problem anymore?
The average citizen would probably be thankful for that.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear that from me, because I would never say that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. A majority of the time, I don't hear anything from nobody.
No, of course not.
Speaking of information that will be given or we don't know, where do we have any leads on where those folks might be? Where they come down from?
Well, we can step outside and I'll point right at their mountain. And that's where they are. But I should warn you that they are very territorial. Most folk are here. Everybody defends their own parcel of land. And if you intend on marching up their mountain, you should expect to be met with resistance.
For the warning.
So would you consider them sloppy when it comes to shaking people down?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very sloppy.
Good to know. Good to know. So they're not very organized then.
No, not at all. They are not the type of clientele that we cater to in this establishment. Now, at the Moon Door, that's more their kind of crowd.
So how are you guys feeling about taking out a bunch of hillbillies?
Well, they do seem to be a problem. Very much like the hard way, kind of power through violence, and it's obviously a detriment to the local economy and the people trying to just make a simple life here.
Yeah, it wouldn't really sit right with me if we just let that pass by when we didn't let the hard way just pass by well. I'm sure we'll meet them again, but still.
How does Rosa feel about this?
Well, it sounds like they're kind of terrorizing the people in town just a little bit, or at least harassing the hell out of them. Definitely not big on that. I'm curious which mountain it is and if it might line up with these steps maybe that Mary was talking about earlier. I know they don't visit the Risky Rabbit. I didn't know if people are also taken. I don't know. Plus, we've got the issue, I was going to bring it up with the group about the water. I don't know if maybe that'll be tied to them or separate, but I mean, I would be fine going after basically these people.
Okay. Well, something to think about. So Duke leads you back to the common room. Gator, you're still asleep. Is that correct?
It hasn't been 8 hours yet.
Has it been 8 hours? It's been a few hours.
Go back to sleep.
I probably have to pee by now, so I get up and I go take care of that.
Yeah, we'll say that Gator is refreshed and regained all your spell slots.
All right.
Because of super bed, right?
I had a gigantic bed.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a sleep number, and it was set right to his sleep number.
There was a
Right,
humidifier in there. It was electric blanket. It was fantastic.
Well, now you're making me tired.
The fan was going at just the right speed for white noise.
That's right.
I had one leg out from under the blanket.
He got his 8 in 2.
So you stumble into the hallway, and here are these other knuckleheads, and you're like, "Oh, hey guys, so what's going on?"
We found out what's up with room 6.
What is up with room 6?
We are not going to tell you.
Then I don't expect to hear about it.
It's real cool.
Oh, you're gonna find out in due time. Don't worry about it.
I'm not doing time. They have to catch me first. What are you talking about? Sorry, I just woke up.
Figure it out eventually is what I mean to say.
All right.
We got a couple of leads on what we need to do here. First, we definitely got to go deal with the gym. But also, it seems that our services could be useful here in town regarding some degens from upcountry, for lack of a better term. The town gets raided every once in a while by folks up in the mountains that come down, take whatever they want, mostly brewing materials, but doesn't seem to be just those. And so maybe we can help deal with that while we're here in town.
We just go teach them a lesson.
Is it all the same mountain? Can we go up one side, get the badge, go down the other, beat up the raiders?
So Duke intervenes and he says, "I tell you what, let's go outside. I'll point in the direction of the mountain, and I'll show you where everything is, and then you can head on your way. How's that sound?"
It's not very polite to point.
Sounds good to me.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so you follow him outside into the 5 points, right? And you can see the hills in the background. There are at least 3 hills. The largest of the mountains is known as Ghost Mountain. That's the one that's got the gym on top of it. That is not the mountain that he's referring to. Instead, he's referring to one of the other mountains. He says that is what we call Funk Mountain. That's where the baddies are. You don't go up there. It's a lot like room 6, Nobody, if you go up the mountain, you don't come back down. Unless you're family. So I'm just going to let you guys explore a little bit. If there's anything else you need, I'll be inside the business here. But, don't do anything that I wouldn't do.
Well, thank you very much. You've been exceedingly helpful, in fact.
Thank you so much. I'll pass on a good review to Mistress Wolf.
It's been a pleasure. So he walks back into the brothel, and you just hear him go, "Hello, ladies!" And the door closes.
We hear cheering.
You hear saxophone.
Yeah,
Nice.
Sexy saxophone. Okay, so here you are in the middle of, you're around the edge of the 5 points. And everybody give me a perception roll.
I'm going to use one of my new dice.
15.
I just bought some more.
12.
Oh, I'm still asleep. Got an 8.
11.
16.
Okay, so Bronson and Solomon, there is one particular person who really stands out from the crowd of people. The sun is starting to set. It's starting to get dark. You notice that the moon door is not even open yet. It still looks like it's barred up. But around the obelisk in the middle, there is a beautiful young lady. She, in fact, Bronson, this is one of the prettiest women that you've seen in a long time. Not quite as beautiful as your fiance was, but she's still quite the looker. And Solomon, you feel the same way. However, she's also very tall, like maybe 6.5 feet tall. Close to the size of Bronson, of Gator when he's fully disguised. And this woman is tall and she's muscular. She's dressed in furs. She's got some camouflage worked into her clothing. She has blonde hair, and she's got these greenish blue. Well, that's all you can see from here. But she is stunning at a distance. What would the party like to do in the 5 points?
Is she looking our way, or like trying to get our attention, or just looks completely out of place in a town full of people with coal on their face?
She looks like
trudging
she's
through.
Exactly. She does stick out. She just appears to be people watching. And as you're trying to look like, what is she looking at? Then you start to notice some of the other businesses. You see the Botch Goblin Tavern, you see the Gnome Depot, and you see the cathedral. So you see all these buildings that Solomon had told you about before you ever came to town, and they're all very fine establishments. The Moon Door being the one that is the shadiest of the 5 businesses in town. So as you're watching that girl, you notice that she locks her eyes onto a gentleman, a handsome gentleman, and she starts to pursue him. And then she wraps her arm around his. She starts to flirt with him a little bit, and you see her start to pick his pocket.
I look down at Solomon. I'm like, "Did you see that pull?"
Yeah, pretty smooth. Not gonna lie. That was decent. Everybody watch your pockets.
Yep. Don't
Understood.
bump into her. Gator.
So at this
What?
So now, Gator and Rosa, Zinthral, you also notice the girl, and you notice the man that she's tied up with. Arm in arm, she walks him into the Botch Goblin Tavern.
We have business there. Just so you guys know, I'm supposed to meet up with a couple compatriots from the shipyard. So I would love to introduce you guys to a couple of folks from my homeland. So, but keep an eye out for that one, because I think she's probably one of the more skilled pickpockets in town.
Yeah, I've honestly never seen somebody that big have that nimble of fingers.
Yeah, for real.
Well, shall we sally forth into the Botch Goblin?
Sure.
Yeah, if we don't have any other pressing.
Meet a compatriot.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
So the Botch Goblin is, as was billed, has a huge dance floor, bars, things hanging from the ceiling. There's all sorts of flair on the walls, mining equipment and, all sorts of memorabilia, some things about the King's Road, some things about the Kingdom of Kafabia. Territory 7 is the best, that sort of thing. And as you walk in, you can see that Big Varro is already at the bar, and he's hammered drunk already.
Oh, snap.
He's pretty easy to see because he's gigantic, and his boots are probably weigh 20 pounds each. He's just a big dude. Next to him is another man who is dressed in a similar color scheme, although not nearly as large. He's a little guy, and he has a bit of an androgynous look. Hold on. Oh, man. There he is. So here's our ship captain. Good-looking guy, tight mustache. So he is not anywhere near as inebriated as his large friend, and not near as talkative, but he does have a very smug look on his face as Varro is telling this hilarious story.
Yeah, so I'll wander up and put my hand on Varro's shoulder and be like, "You couldn't wait for us to get here, could you?"
He says, "Hey, bada bing, bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?"
Doing well. I'd like you to meet the rest of my crew. And I wave over to the group.
All right, so he turns around. He sees your squad all decked out in lion furs. All right, I dig. I like the lion get up. Where's Snugglecup at this point? The pet lion of the group who you've been walking through town with.
Room 11.
Room 11. Okay.
Yeah, let's just leave the lion back in the room for the time being.
Napping hard.
Yep. Snugglecup has now taken over Megabed from Gator.
Oh, that bed is going to get destroyed.
That's the only reason I got up was because somehow there was no room with Snugglecup in the bed.
All right, so you do your introduction, and Varro introduces his friend. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to introduce to you my captain, ship captain, Franco Celtigar."
Oh.
And he just nods his head, in a slow blink. Says,
Have I ever met him earlier, previous to this?
Have you met him? Yes, you have met him. He is considerably younger than you are. and he is the son of a boisterous member of the Celtigar family, one who was particularly cruel to you growing up. He has a brother who you also know, who goes by the name Joffrey. Joffrey is much cooler than this guy is, and is a little bit older. But this guy is, he's the son who always got away with things. The older brother was the more responsible one.
Writing all this down.
So Franco is looking at Bronson, and he says, "I know you.
I know you as well."
I
reach out for a handshake.
So he has a drink from his glass. He says, "You're the half Celtigar."
Right. Well, Varro, it's been great. See how this is. How did you guys fare on the voyage over here? I saw I unfortunately met Peppino posthumously and made sure that you guys get his belongings back to his family.
Oh yes, I suppose we owe you a debt of gratitude for that, and for that I am grateful. We'll make sure that returns to his family. And what may I ask brings you to Colville?
The gym.
Oh yes, of course.
On the King's Road this year.
And how far will the Celtigar make it on the King's Road this year?
I'm gonna be grand champion by the time this is all said and done.
Oh yes, of course, grand champion. Suppose I should ask for your autograph now because it'll be worth something someday.
All right. Listen, man. I'm already exiled. There's nothing that you can do to me or say to me that is gonna make me feel any differently about how I do right now. I put up with you guys, taunting when I was growing up. I've already dealt with my, circumstances, and now you can't. There's nothing that you can do that can faze me. Okay.
So he actually raises his bottle to that, and he says, "I'll drink to that. A couple of scoundrels of the House Celtigar we are."
To consequences.
Aye, to consequences. So he'll actually cheers you to that.
Varro, how long are you guys going to be in port? He doesn't know. He's drunk.
Yeah, so he's wandering at this point. He's got eyes like a doll. He is. He's. Oh, hey man. Oh, I don't know. In a little while, not long. I don't know. The boat is jacked up. As soon as the boat is fixed, we're probably back to the box. You need a lift or something, or what are you looking for?
Maybe. Our boat was in such terrible disrepair that we ended up selling it for scrap. So you guys may be able to sort of piecemeal together a repair for yours by salvaging ours. And so I'll kind of try and get him talking to Solomon about who the dockmaster was, and like put him into touch with him. So perhaps we can have an alternate way to Maybe get out of here at some point.
They got plenty of boat pieces, but travel's debatable. We might be here for a little while, depending.
Oh, we're definitely gonna end up going to the box very soon.
We'll be there inevitably.
So Varro impulsively interjects. He goes, "Let's go to the mountain. Let's go now. Let's go get that badge, and then let's party."
Hey, if you boys want to do that, be my guest. This is one that, from at least my perspective, you guys have to do alone. You're gonna have to climb that mountain and do what you gotta do yourselves. I'm not following you up there.
So then Varro, he points at Solomon. He goes, this guy gets it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, only challengers can go up the mountain. There's a whole gate with rules on it, and if you go up, you have to fight. You got to fight. So yeah, you guys got to go, and that's it.
You on the King's Road too, Franco?
So Franco, he dodges the question a little bit, and then, he slowly nods without saying anything verbally. And then he puts his finger to his lips and just goes, shh.
You're worried it's not going to go very well, and that's why you don't want anybody to know, so that way when you fail, that you won't be humiliated.
Sure. Yes, you hit the nail on the head there.
Well, don't worry about that, because our champion, Celtigar, is going to take it all away. Don't you worry about a thing.
Oh, I would never worry. At this point, across the room, you can see the gigantic blonde woman slaps the guy who she had cased and walked into the joint, and then she storms away from it.
Oh, that was probably the rest of his coin purse right there.
And Gator, you see her, and you are in love. She is stunning. It's like a lightning bolt has just hit you in the chest.
Uh-oh.
This close, you can see, the sandy blonde hair and the eyes that are green and blue like the ocean. She is something else. Bit of a charlatan of her own.
Oh, hold on, Gator. Before you go over there, you're looking a little disheveled. I kind of straighten his shirt, fix a button, straighten his tie, pat him down. I'd like to take his coin off of him before she gets the chance.
If you were a real friend, you'd lend me your underwear right now.
Just steal those two.
That's too complicated. But besides, they don't change size until you got them on. And trust me, at the size they're on now, you don't want to go through that, buddy.
Hey, listen, man. Listen. I'm just saying, like, if they're real snug, it's just going to show off all the gingerbread and everything.
Yeah, and now I don't feel guilty about taking all of Gator's money.
And here is our lovely Amazonian princess. And she's quite the looker. Okay, so at this point, Varro, gets up, tells you he needs to use the latrine, and stumbles out the swinging doors of the bar. Franco starts speaking with one of his other associates from the boat. And the bar is just is a rowdy, fun place. It's full of Dirty Miners. It's it's like the bar from that Toby Keith song. It's got a little bit of everything in here, and it's the only bar on the 5 Points. So it's very popular, and it has an entire shelf of different moonshines. Let's see what does Rosa do?
I've just been listening and people watching a bit. I don't know about the pickpocketing, do I? I didn't see that earlier, right?
No, you didn't pick up on it.
Okay, so all I saw was that she slapped the dude.
Yeah.
It sounds like Gator's already got that handled. I'm trying to figure out how to gently ask the locals about the water.
Oh, well, there's a bartender there.
Yeah, I might
deal with the poison.
yeah, I'll go and have a chat with the bartender.
Okay, here's the bartender, and he says, "Oh, what can I get for you?"
What's the
Not
best
the
thing you have
water.
on the menu?
Best thing on the menu is the shine and the mountain bird.
What is the mountain bird?
Ah, it's just it's a cooked chicken with from the mountain.
Ah,
It's just a chicken, but hey, everything tastes like chicken. Am I right?
yeah, I've heard that. Yes. You know what? How about a small shot of your what your favorite shine would be?
Oh, sure. So he serves up a shot of something, and he says, "I think that you will enjoy this. It's got some fruity notes to it, and if I am a good judge of character, this will fit your palate quite nicely."
Okay, I'll, kind of do like a little salute with it. Take the shot.
So,
and,
so it is delicious. It's got a peach flavor to it. Very good. And while you are savoring it, while it does go down like fire, it does taste well. You see the pickpocket slide behind the bar and curl up next to the bartender.
And I don't believe we've met before.
He says, "Oh, this is my daughter, Elspeth. She's a beaut, ain't she?"
I mean, my goodness, I'm only 3 feet tall. She seems like a goddess to me. So.
Oh, she's like a tree on the mountain. Look, she's amazing. But she is, she's looking for love in all the wrong places, if you know what I mean. And then she says, "Daddy," and she slaps him on the arm. And
I'm barking up the wrong tree then. I'll go. I'll leave.
I got it. It took me a second, but then I got it.
So, I am kind of curious. I've heard a few things about. I've been advised not to drink the water. Have you heard that kind of advisement?
Oh, do not drink the water. You don't want the water. The water is dirty. It's dirty water. You don't want to drink that. It'll make you sick. You want to drink our special house brew. That goes down clean. It's healthy for you. It'll fix all your medical problems. It will make you feel like $100, 100 gold pieces.
Healing properties, huh?
Oh yeah, it fixes all ailments.
Do you have a bottle of this?
Oh, sure. Yes, of course. So he says, "Hey, Elspeth, did you grab one of the house brews and serve it to our friend here? I didn't catch your name."
Yes, it's Rosa. Very nice to meet you.
Rosa, that is a beautiful name. That was my mother's name. I'm just kidding. That wasn't her name.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
No, her name was Phyllis, but Rosa, that's still a beautiful name. And then Elspeth comes back. She's got it's a jar of clear liquor with a brass screw top on the top of it, and he says, "This is a top shelf moonshine from the mountain. 10 gold pieces, special price just for you. What do you say, Miss Rosa?"
We gotta get out of this bar.
Well, no, I was actually, is there a way to kind of suss out whether this has any sort of medicinal properties?
Oh, would you like a free sample?
Wow, a free sample of a 10 gold piece bottle of shine.
That's how they get you.
I know.
Just a taste. That's all it'll take.
Actually, isn't one of our guys not looking too well? Is Zinthral not looking well?
Zinthral
Did I
is
notice
feeling
He's
himself
physically
right
fine.
now.
I'm fantastic.
We're gonna get to him in just a minute.
But you know what? Let's put a pin in the moonshine thing. I need to find out more about the water.
Okay, he says, "All right, I understand your apprehension. It's a very expensive brew, and some people don't have the budget for it. It's quite all right. We've got some rail moonshine that we can get for you. But about the water, I understand that you seem to be particularly interested in that. Who you want to talk to is the church lady. She goes by the name of Mother Isolde. She's at the church. You can't miss her. She's a church lady.
Yes, Lady of the Mountain. Was that correct?
Yes, the big church right outside the front door. You can't miss it.
All right, fantastic. I will talk to her and actually, can I have another shot of that fine shine that you gave me just a little bit ago?
Oh, you want the Peach Mountain Brew? Okay. Yeah. So he serves you another one of those, and we'll just call this one on the house. And when you're ready, you come back and you pick up some of this very fine mountain wine.
Thank you so much for your generosity, and I'll actually tip them a couple gold pieces.
Oh, much obliged, Miss Rosa. You have yourself a wonderful evening, and you enjoy your time in KRYL.
Thank you.
So we'll cut over to Zinthral here, and Zinthral, you're feeling great. You feel like how do we put this? Like
10,000 platinum pieces.
Euphoric.
Yeah.
Almost euphoric, but your inhibitions are completely lowered, right? Those walls you keep up around you. You've let down your guard a little bit here, and everything just looks prettier. The music sounds better. The food tastes better.
What was in my drink?
You're just happier. And it's a nice change. It's a good feeling. So what do you do at this moment? You're kind of like standing in slow motion as everything else is moving much faster than you around you, and you're just kind of letting it all wash over you.
This is gonna sound really dumb. He sounds a little bit more than just intoxicated, and does he think he can fly?
Does he think he can fly? He's pretty sure that if he tried hard enough, he could do anything.
Yeah, he wants to do that.
Okay. So just like in place, he's just going to start like vibrating until he...
Yeah.
He's trying his
like
hardest.
every episode of Dragon Ball Z, he just starts growling for like 9 minutes.
This is the Goku versus Frieza.
Just do Kegels, you'll lift off.
So Varro picks up on this and he elbows Bronson. He goes, I think your buddy is trying to crap himself right now.
Yeah.
We should probably get him outside before he makes a mess in here.
Yeah. He'll be all right.
Yeah?
He'll be all right.
I think he's trying to fly.
Just start flapping my arms.
All right, so then Varro comes over to Zinthral, and he goes to pick you up off the ground.
Yeah.
And he says, "Fly, my little lion! You can fly!"
Was he thrown?
No, he's
thrown.
He's holding you up over his head like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I can fly.
I knew there was a reason why Varro was my favorite friend.
So the two most inebriated in the entire bar are flying their way towards the exit. Rosa, you've been informed of a lead. Gator, what do you do in this situation? You've seen a lot. You have some choices here.
I believe I was focused on a beautiful young lady.
Okay. Well, there you are. She is now behind the bar with the bartender.
Well, I'll walk up about as smooth as I can. I don't know if... Oh, boy. So this moonshine's been getting passed around. I haven't had any yet, so I'm going to have to order... how much, just based on any conversations I've had since I've been in town, am I thinking I could, in a very cool way, order just a whole, bottle of moonshine, or
Sure.
do they have, have, a 40 ounce or something? This is what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, you can order, like, a flight of small shots, or you can order a double shot, or you can order an entire jar. I mean, it's readily
Give Gator
available.
the tasting menu.
Well, I walk up with plenty of gold in hand and a pouch, and I start to take it out, and I do just that. I order it very cool-like.
All right, roll persuasion.
Oh, my favorite. Not my worst, but not my, this is not one of the ones that I actually put points in. I'm more but here we go.
And no clipboard. You're just trying to rizz her right here.
The clipboard wouldn't help. That's for deception only.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to have to be raw charm.
Never change.
So you rolled a 1. Okay.
I rolled a 1, and I got a 2.
You got a 2 total.
And your coin purse is empty.
So it comes out.
That's it. It's empty.
It's exactly
I
the
order
opposite
first.
as you intended. Like, hey, what'll
I
this
order
get me?
first.
And you drop an empty purse on the counter, and she's like, "I don't know. What are you getting at?" And then she starts squinting at you, and then looking you up and down. Roll a perception.
These rolls just keep getting like less and less in my skill set. For some reason, I got a 17.
All right, so you start squinting at her up and down, and both of you become uneasy with each other. And she says,
"Do you like?" Oh, go on.
She says, "You're not quite what you seem, are you?"
Do you like karaoke? I say that with the squeak in my voice and everything. It seems I'm a little light right now. I must have left my gold in my other pants. Yes, at the establishment over there. Would you mind? Can I open a tab, please? Would that be terrible?
So she grabs a glass, slams it on the counter, grabs a jar, pours a little bit of something into the glass, and pushes it in front of you. And she says, "Drink it."
Well, it wouldn't be very cool if I asked what was in the glass, so I grab the glass and I try to look as fast and sure as I can to see what it is.
All right.
Probably not a good thing.
Investigation?
Oh, in investigation, you say? I don't have a chance here. All right, everybody shut up. Another 17. Okay, 17s are coming to save me.
So she's actually served you a very potent alcohol, and one of great, not great, top shelf stuff, like good stuff, and it appears to be untampered with. But she's watching you intently, arms folded, and just smirking at you.
All right, I down it very quickly and very is it very high quality where it doesn't have a very strong like bitter astringent taste to it, so I don't feel the need to fight making a face?
Correct.
Okay,
so you play it cool. It goes down, and then after that, it's very hot in your belly, and she smirks because she knows that's the intended purpose. And she leans in a little bit closer. She goes, "I know your secret." And then she goes, "I have a secret too."
Uh-oh. What's your secret?
And she says, "Well, let's say that you wanted to appear like something that you're not in order to get people to react in a certain way. You would, there's things you can do to change your appearance or to, look a little bit different."
You're wearing heels. Or lifts is what I meant, but lifts, yeah.
So roll investigation with advantage.
She's literally told me that there's something off, so yeah, I agree. That makes sense. I should be on the lookout. No! So 18 or 23. I got a natural 20 for 23.
Hey!
So what?
The Adam's apple. I get it. I've been in this situation before.
So you're finally connecting the dots that the same tricks that you use to make yourself look bigger, she uses to make herself look bigger. She's nowhere near as tall as she appears to be, similar to the way Gator is. In fact, she's of average height and not nearly as strong as she looks either.
Hey, you've been to Saturn? I've been to Saturn. Ooh, sandworms, you hate them, right? I hate them myself. I don't say any of that.
He is drunk.
It hit fast, but so I as hard as she slammed the drink down, I slammed the empty down. And I look up and I go, that's a fine secret. Would you like to see a bit of magic?
Oh, yes.
All right, using minor illusion, which I am actually more proficient than most casters because I'm an illusionist. I can do visual and audio. I close my hand, or my two hands flat on each other, and then I cup them suddenly, and then I open them, and there's a little bird.
Is this your card?
So she arms folded, and you can tell she's biting her lip, trying to hold back a smile. And the bird comes out. And describe what the bird does.
It's the same color blue as she's wearing, actually, and it floats over and lands on her shoulder and tweets in her ear.
She actually laughs at that. She's very impressed. At that point, her father does come back, and he says, and he goes, "Oh, how we doing there, big guy? Did you see anything you like here in the menu?"
Well, I don't know if it's on the menu, but I do see something I like.
So his smile turns to a frown, and he looks at Elspeth, and she just kind of walks away. And he says, "What are you drinking? Wait, what can I get for you?"
She didn't say what was in the glass, did she?
Nope.
She did not.
No, I did. Just give me a Boilermaker.
Okay, so he'll make a drink for you. And what does Gator do for the rest of the night? Elspeth doesn't come back around. The night's kind of winding down. Varro's ready to leave. Zinthral is ready to fly. Is there anything that anyone would like to do before leaving the bar?
Fly.
Not that I can think of. I'm trying to remember if there was anything we didn't do. We just came to meet Bronson's friend at his behest, and then we did that, and he's quite schnockered, but so is Zinth, so, they're peas in a pod.
Yeah, so
I don't think there's anything else you have to do.
Everybody's a little tipsy at this point. So you're outside the doors in the center of the 5 points here. You are with Varro and with Franco. And Franco is trying to encourage everybody to go right to the mountain and to challenge for the gym badge as soon as possible. How does that sound to Zinthral and to Bronson?
Yeah,
let's go.
I'm not going to be goaded into doing something before we've done our research and have all our bearings about us. We may have other tasks in town before we go up there.
Okay.
I'm not going to let him goad me into venturing off without discussing it with the group first.
And yeah, Zinthral is like drunk as hell right now, so he's not really making, wise decisions, like trying to fly.
He's very impressionable right now.
Yes, very.
So Franco's like, "We should go to the mountain." You're like, "Yeah." And Bronson's like, "No, we shouldn't do that. That's a bad idea." He's like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
And he's like,
Zinth is on no fly right now. He's grounded.
No yeet.
All right, so I would like to wrap up the session right here and leave everybody with some food for thought. In the center of the 5 points, there are several things going on. And we will start with Rosa. Rosa, you are right next to the chapel, the temple, which is right there.
Okay.
And that is where you're set to meet with Mother Isolde, the head clergy person of the temple, to talk about cleansing the water well.
Yes.
At the gate, at the foot of the mountain, is where the challengers are supposed to meet with Franco in tow. Varro will not be able to accompany you, right? Because he's already challenged on the road and cannot challenge again. So it'll be Franco and Bronson and Zinthral. You probably want to wait until you're sober to go. So maybe first thing in the morning you head out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gator, you I don't know that you've fallen in love with Elspeth, the charlatan.
The lady gator.
Yeah,
She knows my tricks and she maybe does them better than me. I'm intrigued.
Yep. But you know how to find her, right? You've met her father. So there is still meat on that bone. And
DM, a little birdie told me where she stays.
That's right. The little birdie on her shoulder.
Yes, sir.
And who am I missing?
Solomon.
Yes, Solomon. So at this point, Solomon, you are kind of walking around trying to figure out what to do. You're certainly not going up that mountain to slap anybody. You're not going to fall in love in a bar. And I don't know that you care all that much about the well. You do want to get to the bottom of what happened to this obelisk in the middle of town. So as you're looking at admiring is not the right word, but as you're looking at it, at how it's been defiled from its original shape, you hear a familiar voice behind you. And the voice goes, "It's a real shame what they did to that obelisk. Don't you think there, Solomon?" And you turn around to see a familiar face. And this is your good old buddy from the Gnome Depot, gentleman by the name of Roscoe. It's been a little while since you've seen Roscoe, and boy, he is happy to see you. He goes, "Solomon!"
Roscoe. I'll give him a hug.
How do gnomes greet each other?
Pointy caps.
Do a secret handshake.
You touch
very
beards.
elaborate.
You go beard to beard contact.
If I recall correctly, from the show David the Gnome that used to air on Nickelodeon when I was a kid, they rubbed their noses together.
Oh, Eskimo kisses, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Eskimo kiss between gnomes. That's exactly what we do.
Perfect. So it says, "Solomon, you got to come in and look at the Gnome Depot. We have some great items. You're going to love them."
Oh, I was definitely coming over just as soon as we got out of the mix with stuff, and it looks like I'm free right now. I'd love to come and see what you're all working on.
So there you go. You head towards the doors of the Gnome Depot, which is now closed for all other business. As the sun has set, the doors of the Moon Door have opened, and that brothel is now open for business at the same time that the Gnome Depot is closed for business. But you have a private access into the Gnome Depot with your good old friend, Mr. Roscoe the Gnome. So we're going to pick up there a week from now in the next episode of Kings Road Young Lions. Thanks for watching, and say goodbye, Young Lions.
Goodbye, Young Lions.
Hi, Young Lions.
Hey, congratulations. If you're still listening, that means you made it to the end of the episode. Thanks for coming by and listening to this edition of Kings Road Young Lions. If you like what you've heard, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see on the next episode. For more great content from This Is Awesome Promotions, check out the YouTube channel, check out the Twitch channel, check us out on Twitter at TIA Promotions. Thanks again for coming around, and we'll see you next time down on the King's Road.